Hey Aquarius, happy late December. Sorry for the late reading. So I'm going to be doing a remainder of December / remainder of 2019 / this decade reading. And then we're going to do a little preview into 2020. All right. I'm sorry the lighting got weird as soon as I turned on the camera. It's like... Okay, so for the remainder of the year, you guys have the energy of the Devil card in reverse, clarified by the Page of Swords and the Hanged Man. So, the Devil, Capricorn energy, we just had Jupiter move into Capricorn recently, so that on top of, what is it? Let me look at my notes. Saturn, Pluto, and currently, as of right now of this reading, Venus. So a lot of heavy Capricorn energy. And, you know, Capricorn or not, this is your 12th house. So already it's heavy stuff. It's subconscious stuff. It's stuff that we have to go through before we can really break through into our new identity. So this is kind of speaking to either you finally breaking free of all of your 12th house things that you had, all the gunk that you had to drain out. It's either speaking of that or you repressing it. So be wary, Aquarius. If you guys are avoiding something or trying to run away from some kind of like heavy stuff, it's better if you face it up front now, because if not, you'll just have to deal with it again later, and it's going to look a little different. But this is telling me, this is a good sign, because it's like, if you really are doing the work, I see a lot of you breaking free from this heavy 12th house energy. It is going to be ongoing, so it's not just like, 2020 starts and then you don't have to deal with it anymore. It's just, it's going to be, life is a journey, right? But I do see at the end of the year, you are going to break through and be able to see things from a new perspective, something a little bit more childlike, a little bit more fresh. It's refreshing. It's kind of like you don't have to carry as much anymore. And then also the Hanged Man. So yeah, just kind of like you don't have to carry as much anymore. You just have to let loose and just kind of go with the flow and chill and hang out with this new perspective. Both of these are new perspective cards for me, especially under the Devil reverse. So it's kind of like anything that was traditional, anything that was already set in stone or set in place, you are carving that rock, or you are moving it or moving away from it, because you understand that the freedom, the truest freedom we have, is in our mind. So being able to change your mindset at the end of this year is going to propel you into success for the future, because it's going to help restore some balance. All right, let's get into 2020. I'm just going to do a very brief preview for all of them. I'm going to do one card per. I'm laughing because the first card for January is the Page of Swords again. So, what did I say? I'm not taking flying cards if you were curious as to what that was. Bottom of the deck is the devil in reverse. So literally, yeah, what did I say in the beginning? Don't expect it to just end at 2020. I actually think that was kind of an indication of the beginning of it. But don't be discouraged, because I did see you guys coming out at the end of it, and you can actually acquire this new mindset pretty early on in the year, which will help you throughout the rest of the year. Because again, in January you have the Page of Swords. So, and you heard me shuffling, right? So just for the devil in reverse, the same card you got in the December reading to be the bottom of your deck, and the start of your new reading is also the same card. It's just funny. So yeah, adopt this new idea at the end of this year. Like, whatever happens, allow it to, like, if your world is being flipped upside down per se, then look at things at the way that they are. Look at things from being upside down, because it might teach you something. It's not ideal, but it's kind of like there's still something to gain from it. Okay. In February, I do see you guys relieved of that anxiety, because you had the Nine of Swords in reverse. So you're no longer staying up late. You're no longer having anxious feelings or repetitive thoughts about this thing. So if you guys acquire this new idea or this new perspective now, which I think you will be able to get out of this, and it'll just be like a weight that's lifted off your shoulders and your mind. In March, we have the Death card in reverse. So this is either an ending that's blocked because you didn't do the work, or an ending that you are blocking because you don't want to let go of something. So again, it's kind of like whatever needs to fall away in March, let it. So it's also kind of like maybe there's a new beginning that you're kind of scared to start, because in order for that beginning to happen, you need to end something first. So let's say you want to have a new career. You want to do something else with your life, but you can't do that until you quit your current job. But you're scared to quit that job because of maybe stability or health insurance or whatever it is, right? So it's something along those lines. It doesn't have to be career, but it could be that same fear of instability. So it could be a relationship as well. Or just, again, maybe that mindset that, some of y'all acquired in the beginning of the year or at the end of this year, but some of you didn't. So maybe this is speaking to that group who didn't quite let go. March is really pushing you to look at things differently. April, you have the Emperor in reverse. So a little bit more alive than the Death card, but still in reverse. Okay, but still progress. So you're allowing things to come in. You're allowing, this change to come in, even though you're not happy with it. It's kind of like, if you've ever seen that meme where it's like the universe is, I'm just throwing all these challenges at you so you'll grow and evolve. And the person's like, well, fine, but I'm just going to complain the whole time. That's the vibe I'm getting with this in April. It's kind of like you've accepted the changes that are coming in because you know that you don't have control over them. So this is you just kind of like, oh, fine, I'll deal with it. But even though you're still stubborn and you still have the armor on, you're still looking alive. It's better than it was looking in March, because you're finally able to see the life in this situation. You're able to see where you can grow and the blessings that are able to really come with it, even if you're not ready to admit it in April, but that is what I see for you. And then in May, it's going to soften up. You're still in the king position, you're still on your throne, but a little bit more emotionally receptive this time around. So in May, whatever this situation was that was kind of tearing you up in March and February, you can look at it from a perspective of love this time, of unconditional love, rather than just your mind or anxiety or what you wanted or thought you wanted, because it was an idea that you were married to for so long. But this situation came in and kind of allowed you to, again, look at things from a different perspective, but also open your heart in a new way too. And then in January, in June, and I don't know why I said it weird, but in June, I do see Page of Cups in reverse. So this is letting go of emotional immaturity, also emotionally immature people. So it's just people that need to fall away, people that you don't really resonate with anymore. So it doesn't have to be malicious. It's just kind of like what's right at this certain time in your life. But it could also mean your own emotional immaturity too. Like maybe this is just, again, a continuation of this journey that we've been speaking about this whole time. So maybe that emotional immaturity was what was hindering you from receiving so many blessings before, or even allowing you to let down some of your walls. So it's kind of, while you're learning how to receive and how to be vulnerable with not just even people, but just with yourself, like facing your own emotions. Like if you're able to be alone with yourself at home and think about your emotions, like that's a huge step, because you don't necessarily have to always share your emotions with other people to be emotional, right? But holding it in also isn't healthy. So this is almost like emotionally immature characteristics that are only detrimental to you, and it can only help your relationships, but it doesn't necessarily require your relationships. Does that make sense? In July, you have the Five of Swords in reverse. So again, letting go of, I think this is more external now, so emotionally immature people, because you went through this emotional shedding and understanding yourself even more on a deeper level. Now that people who are petty or who cause drama around you won't be in the picture anymore, because you're just like, you don't need them, because you've reached a certain level of, again, maturity, where you're just kind of like, I mean, y'all might have been fun back in the day, but I'm just on some new level now. Like I'm just on some new shit. And when those people fall away, in August, you have the Magician. So being able to start something, being able to create something that is more aligned with you, something that you really want and are dedicated to, because the Magician wouldn't come up unless he wanted to actually be there. All right, and then in September, you have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So this could mean some of you guys are leaving a certain job. You are leaving certain business partnerships. Something that's just about creating structure. It pertains to the work area, but it doesn't have to be like a paid job. It could be like a volunteer thing, or like a side project, something that you're building with a team, but now you're breaking away from it. I don't think it's malicious. I think it's just kind of the end of a chapter. In October, you have the High Priestess. So your intuition is going to be really strong. It is going to be Scorpio season in October, towards the end of it. But even before then, your intuition is really building, because you are now surrounded by people who are vibrating on your level. So you're no longer hanging around people who are just kind of there, like fair weather friends. And when you get rid of fair weather friends, your vibration really raises, because now you're only surrounding yourself with people who truly want to see you succeed and truly want to support you and be there for you. So a person really thrives. It's like a flower that you water, right? So like when you're around good people, and your environment is good, you're good. And November, I don't know why I'm getting all my months mixed up. November, you have the Nine of Wands in reverse. So that's good. You have the Nine of Swords and the Nine of Wands in reverse. So you're just letting go of a lot. It's going to be a really cathartic year. Whew, I just want to take a really big deep breath with me. That felt good. Yeah, it's just a cathartic year. It's gonna be some work. Don't get me wrong. It's gonna be there's gonna be some rough parts, but you're only letting go of the bad things, the negative things, the things that don't serve you. So even though it's heavy, it won't be heavy much longer, because in December you're leaving all that bullshit behind. You are closing the year by just closing out a lot of things. So I see you closing a lot of cycles. I see you really honing in on your main peoples, like your main support system, your main tribe. And for a lot of you, I think this is kind of like, it's like you're moving on to the new stage of you. It's like this whole year, this 2020, this year, is going to allow you to be the next stage of you. And I know that can sound kind of redundant, because it's like, well, isn't every year just a new stage of you? It's like, yes, but this is going to be like in a whole like new emotional level of you, right? It's just a level of you that you never really were in tune with or truly unlocked before because you weren't ready. But all the work that you're going to do this year is going to make you ready for this next journey. So, Aquarius. Yeah, you will be okay. You will be okay, especially as long as you are really just sticking to your true peoples. And I think you know who those peoples are. I think because you guys are so friendly and outgoing, you want everyone to be your peoples, but that's just not the reality. So really understand like the people that you can trust and the people that are really on your side and hold them close because they're going to be the ones that really help you this year. But it's going to be awesome because it's like you're going to be with the right people. So things can only go well when you're with the right people. Cool. All right, Aquarius, I hope you have a wonderful rest of 2019, and I will see you next year. Bye.